we've got a nice long setup
Order
here, so
filled.
I'm just going to get long. Um, my screen's all screwed up. So, um, got long here because actually didn't get that good of a fill, but the trend on the I've been watching the 3-minute chart this morning is green, and we've turned green here again on the 1-minute chart, and so I'm just gonna let this thing. Oh, that's nice, nice. Just gonna let this run and see what happens. Now, the reason I got long is because, as I said, on the 3-minute chart here, we had a nice long direction with all these green
Target
dots
filled.
down here. So there's our first target, and I think I'm just gonna
Target filled.
take that one off too, because that was kind of quick. So the reason I got long was because we had this, green trend that had been in place since earlier this morning, and got it again here on the 1-minute chart. You see we had a little chop in here, but you wouldn't have been getting short here with all this green on the 3-minute and 5-minute chart. Missed this, wasn't participating in any of this week because of I was just busy doing other things. If you live in Europe or you trade the early hours of the morning, there was some money to be made in that direction as well. What's going on with my chart here? I don't have. Okay. There's a nice move here, and but that's the first trade for the day. I'll probably do. Let's see, that was $650. I'll do one or two more trades here and throughout the day, and kind of walk you through them. But for now, I'm just going to pause the video until we get something new. So while I'm waiting here, I'll answer some questions that we got via email today. One question here is from, I'll just leave the names out of it. If I get some green indicators, whether it's bars, stop points, or bottom oscillator, etc., while having a short position, should I stop the trade and close immediately? No, you don't do that. For instance, here, when we're in this trade, if you got long in here anywhere, you got a red bar here, you wouldn't have gotten out of this trade right here. You would have stayed in the trade. And you would have gotten out here where it stopped out, where the price action broke the stop. Okay, and then we got a little chop in here. This went short, but the bars were still green and the oscillator was green, so there was no reason to get short in here. So you just stayed flat. But then everything turned green again here, and you got a signal to go long. So you go long, and you get in here and you go long, and that trade worked out. So just because the bars change does not mean that you get out of a trade. Next question, should I place my stop 10 points above where I'm short no matter what? No. I'm sorry. Should I place my stop 10 points above? No. Your stop needs to be where the stops are, and they're on the chart here. They need to follow. Your stops need to follow these green if you're long, or red if you're short. Little dots. And it's plain and simple as that. Now, if you enter a trade where you're more than, like for this trade here, for instance, you're pretty far from your stop. Their stop's at 85, and this is 95. So we're 10 points away from our stop. Now, that's kind of, that's your maximum stop there. my personal preference is to wait for the price to pull back a little bit, like maybe an entry here around 90 or something would be better, and then you don't have to worry about the price action pulling back and stopping you out for more than 10 points. So good rule of thumb there is just pick better entries so that your stop is not more than 10 points. So hopefully that answers his questions. Got another set of questions here. Here's some questions here. I'm having trouble identifying the trend on a 5-minute chart. I've watched the videos, but I'm confused. Okay, well, it's pretty simple. Here is here's a 3-minute. I'm using a 3-minute this morning. Let's look at a 5-minute. You can see here on a 5-minute the trend. All these red dots. The trend was down. You're supposed to be short during all this time where this red was, and then we finally went green on this last 5-minute chart. All this time here you should have been long. All this time you should have been long. All this time you should have been short. All this time you should have been long. All this time you should have been short. I mean, these are really nice moves here that we're seeing, that happened early in the morning. So that answers that question. For a long, does a trend constitute a green bar, green line, green big dot? Yeah, you're just for the most part, to determine your direction, you look at these dots right here on whichever time frame you're trading. Okay. So if you're trading, we're trading moves here. I don't trade the trends; they're just too big for me. See, a better entry would be somewhere around in here, but I'm not gonna do that because I already made some money, and I'm not. I don't want to risk losing that money. So here you should have been short. Here you should have been long. Here you should have been long. You would have stopped out of a long right here. Here you should be long. So first determine your direction that you're going to trade, and then pick your entry. That's the direction to move. Here you should have been short. Now this is real choppy in here, not ideal to trade, but green vertical bar. If that is the case, then there's never really an entry on the 1-minute chart. Yeah, you can't wait for the perfect setup. There is no such thing as a perfect setup. You just have to wait for just about everything to line up, and then you just have to put one foot in front of the other and take the trade. There's never going to be a situation where here everything's green. This is all green on the 5-minute. This is all green here, so this is probably a good buy right here. So we'll see what the market does, but I'm going to put it back on the 3-minute because that's just my preference. Okay, so that answers his questions. Next question. Yeah, I got that one. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking for the right questions here. That one was done. Okay, all right. Now I've got a question here from someone talking about moves. The idea here, I'll just bring up the question here into a window so you can see it. Try and do these video updates, as time permits. But okay, so question following up on the webinar yesterday. Move entries. The idea is to use a 1-minute chart to enter the trend of direction of the 5-minute. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can do counter trend trades on if you're move trading. You know, if the 5 minutes not lined up, but it's best to wait for the 5 minute to identify the trend. And there are points in time where the market is not trending, where the market will just um, move sideways, basically. Um, so you know, here I just said that that was a good entry, and look, here we're going higher. Um, so you know, just look for the green to go long and look for the red to go short. Entry location. Any guidelines on deciding where to place the limit entry order? A few that come to mind are immediately at the closing of the bar. We don't do anything with the closing of the bar. At a predetermined retracement, possibly 50%. Yeah, you know, the entries are a little discretionary because well, you know, it's just the way trading works, basically. But you know, I like to get in somewhere around this line here. If we get in somewhere around this line, we retrace this line. Those are good entries. But sometimes, if you do that, you risk missing a trade. So rather than wait every time, just try and get into a trade as close to the stop as possible. That way you're risking the least amount of money if the trade is a loser. If the price action is close enough to moving average, we don't do anything with moving averages. Stop location there, yeah, it's very obvious where the stops are. I don't know why there's any confusion there. Here's the stop, here's the stop, 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 stop. You just put your stop right underneath that. That's very, very black and white. On the coding aspects of the indicators, following need attention. The signal lines are gray or plotting, and yeah, we fixed that this morning. The background color hurts your eyes. Well, I'm sorry that hurts your eyes. It's blue. I don't think we're going to change that. I look forward to hearing your feedback. So hopefully I answered your questions there. And let's just pause the video here until we get another trade. Okay, so just checking in here on the price action. You can see we've got a higher high here. And you know, if I had stuck with the trade a little while, or had I had said earlier, you could have got in here. Well, there's another good trade for you that you could have made some money. I'll just pause it until we get the next entry. I'm probably the 3-minute chart's looking very, very, very green, so very well defined move to the upside. So just pause the video here and check back in when we see the next trade. Okay, we're coming up on what very well could be a change in trend here on the longer term time frame. We're starting to get some red here. We've got the red stops, red bars. We still got some green in there and some green here, so we'll just waiting a little bit. We don't have a clear signal to get short yet, but we are just waiting. And once we do, we will get short. Check out some scalp trades here. I don't do any scalp trading, but you know, here's a perfect example of a scalp trade. For those of you who have the scalp trading lesson, got to sell and went right through it. So very nice scalp trade there. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Scalp trading would have been to the long side because we have green. So here's one right here. That one actually would have stopped out, but the next one would have worked. Here's one right here. That one looks like it worked. So just interesting. So yeah, you know, we're going back and forth. It's kind of choppy here. There's nothing to really do. So we will just pause the video. Okay, we've got a sell signal.
Order filled.
I'm getting short. That was kind of not really a good entry. But I'll show you the reason is we're all red here. Got red, red, red. And I probably should have waited for some kind of retracement here before getting short. But if this is a change in trend, then we won't have the opportunity. So just going to stay short here, and I'm not going to move my stop. There we go. It's moving in our direction. Sometimes these little trend changes will just slip away from you if you don't jump in there and get them. I'll just go ahead and okay. So there's my stops break even now. And you know, I'm not going to move that. If I stop out at a break even, then I'll just stop out at break even. But for now, I'll just pause it. Well, I might just hit my profit target here, so maybe I'll keep the video rolling. I'm going to actually move my stop right there. I don't even want to. I'll risk. Well, I'm going to move it just above this bar here. Technically, my stop should be up here, but that's because I had a poor entry. But you know, I'm just not going to risk another 15 points on this trade. I'm just going to take a small loss if this comes back and snaps back up. But staying short, you know, there I am at break even, and just about stopped out. A small loss, but I think there's more room to this move down, and I want to stay in it. I'm also short the S&P, so I'll check back in. Alright, so it's moving in. You know, I really got lucky with this stop here. The reason I put it there was because it was above the high of this bar. I thought we might break that, and it's about halfway through this bar, so I just kind of got lucky with that, to be honest with you. So here, okay, so now we've come back down. I'm going to move my stop to break even. I'm not going to let this come back up and stop me out for a loss, because twice it's already come down here. This is my opportunity to take my money. And I'm going to move this up just a little bit. And actually, thinking about taking one of these off. I'm already up 300 bucks. Yeah,
Target filled.
I'm going to take that one off, and I'm going to move this one up here. Okay, so
target filled.
Yeah, all right. So that was another 300 bucks, and there we get a new low, of course. Story of my life: I always get out too early, or rather, the story of my trading career. But that's, you know, that's trading. There's absolutely nothing wrong with getting out too early, as long as you your bottom line is a positive one. So hopefully this video has answered everyone's questions that I got today, as well as given everyone a little bit of insight into how to trade. I'm not the expert. You should know that. Christian's the expert, and Christian will be doing a video update tomorrow, so look for that, and we'll talk to you soon.